Canadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Good evening, viewers and listeners, and welcome to the GBN Television News for Tuesday, the very first day of March 2022. Coming up in news tonight, police called in as GIDC workers protest what they call an insult to their request for salary increases. Ministry of Education says they are ready to evacuate Grenadian students in Russia and Romania if necessary. Speed bumps erected in River Road to stem speed and traffic could become permanent. Let's now join Zia Frederick, who will tell us what's to come in regional and international news as well as sports. Zia?
Thank you, Blossom, and good evening, viewers and listeners. Here's what's to come in our probe around the globe. In Trinidad, families heartbroken as bodies of 3 divers recovered after a weekend stuck in oil pipes. Further afield, Ukrainian president accuses Russia of war crimes as the invasion rolls into day 6. And a little later in sports, GFA Premier League resumes with wins for QPR, Hurricanes, and Camahan. Join me, Zia Frederick, later in the newscast for the details. Now back to you, Blossom.
Thank you, Zia. Join us a little later. This is GBN News at 7.
The first segment of the news comes to you compliments Soft Weave Bathroom Tissue.
Have you heard about the new Soft Weave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Soft Weave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue, available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Soft Weave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
Welcome to the primetime edition of news. I am Blossom Alexis-Welsh with the details. Workers at the Grenada Investment Development Corporation spent part of Tuesday morning protesting what they call an insult to their request for salary increase. But the matter got a little tense when a police officer was called to the scene. Chrislina John has tonight's top story.
Police were called in on protesting workers at the GIDC on Tuesday, which PWU President Brian Grimes views as an attempt to intimidate workers on the picket line.
We received a phone call stating that approximately at 11 a.m. the workers at the GIDC and the shop steward in particular were questioned by police. 2 officers came to them, uniform officers, asking to speak to the workers there basically. See, this is of deep concern to the Grenada Public Workers Union. The management of the GIDC has denied calling in the police, alleging that somebody from the police force must have seen and just came to inquire.
The employees staged a 1-hour silent protest Tuesday morning, saying they feel insulted as after years of service to the organization, they were offered 0% increase to their salaries for the period 2019 to 2021. 8 permanent staff members were supported by bargaining agent, the Public Workers Union, whose president, Brian Grimes, says it is unfair to the workers.
We have workers here, 8 workers basically that this union represents, with a high level of skill, industrial specialists, training specialists, business development officers. It goes across the board. And they are operating, as we speak, on 2018 salary. All efforts by the union to try and come to a fair conclusion with salary negotiations have come to naught. Hence the reason we are out here today. They have offered the workers at GIDC 0% for 2019. They have offered for 2020 0%, and they have offered for 2021 a whopping 0%. This is an insult to the tremendous work that these workers are doing for this country.
Adding insult to injury, Grimes says these workers have held up the mantle throughout the pandemic, while public officers were privileged to salary increases.
During the December period, when the Minister of Finance spoke about bonuses and what statutory bodies ought to do and let us, do things to assist our people to fight inflation, they did not receive 1 red cent. So all around, they are just being disrespected, and we are here today on the 37th anniversary of the GIDC to demonstrate which is the most important resource, the human resource. This is what we should invest in. We are calling on the government, we are calling on the board of directors, we are calling on the management, we are calling on all parties involved to right this wrong so that we can go forward. They deserve much better than they are being offered.
This action, Grimes says, will continue for 1 hour daily, and if there is no resolve to the matter, industrial action will escalate. However, this depends solely on the response of the paid negotiator, the board, or the management of the GIDC. When contacted on Tuesday, GBN was told by the Corporate Secretary Sharon Gilchrist that Chief Executive Officer at the GIDC, Ronald Theodore, was in a management meeting and would have him return a call to our news desk. Up to news time, no return call was received. Chrislina John, GBN News.
As the world watches the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia, local authorities have given the assurance that there are no Grenadian students in the heart of the deadly battle. However, they are keeping watchful eyes on the situation in the event students in nearby countries may need assistance from their homeland. We get more in this report from Rena Perry-Thomas.
The Ministry of Education has confirmed that there are no Grenadian students in Ukraine currently. However, with 5 nationals studying in nearby countries, including Russia, they are prepared to evacuate the students if needs be. According to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Norman Gilbert, the 5 students are not directly affected by the invasion and they are doing fine. He says the students have been in contact with the ministry and Grenada's ambassador to Russia and Ukraine, along with family and friends in Grenada who are keeping them up to date on their status.
As a ministry, we have been able to touch base with all the students who are in that zone. We have 3 students who are in Romania. We have been able to communicate to them. They're all safe. At this time, there is no threat to their current operation, nor their school, nor where they live, nor to anything that surrounds the area that they are currently in. We also have 2 students who have been awarded scholarship to Russia. Both students are also safe and not in any threat in any way. And we have also been able to touch base with both students. And I want to indicate here that those students who are awarded scholarships to Russia are in no physical danger. They are not in any physical space where there is anything that can endanger them.
Almost a week ago, Russia launched a devastating attack on Ukraine, bombing city centers and closing in on the capital, prompting a mass exodus of refugees. P.S. Gilbert explains that though the students are not in danger, if there is any need to bring them home, the ministry can organize flights to get them to safety.
So we believe that there's any need for the students to be relocated, we would be able to receive the support of the embassies there. Of course, we would obviously have to give some level of thought to the flight situation, as you would very well imagine that there are a number of countries that have since ceased flights in that region. And so if indeed the students have to come home, whilst we may be limited by flights, we are certain that the embassies are going to do what is best to ensure that the students are safe until such time that they can return at home.
For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
The safety of the workers on the St. Johns River flood mitigation project was being compromised by some motorists, leading to swift action by the Ministry of Infrastructure to implement safety mechanisms along the roadway for the duration of the project. But a government minister is cautioning that speed bumps may become permanent. We get the details in this Beverly Telesford report.
The 5 speed bumps recently erected along the River Road Main Road have been put in place to slow down the speed of traffic while work on the St. Johns River flood mitigation project progresses. But they could become permanent fixtures, according to one government minister. Many were eager for the reopening of the road after its abrupt closure on January 5th to facilitate work on the portion of the road that was caving in. On February 17th, the anticipation was met with the 5 speed bumps, which are laid in relatively quick succession. The reason for implementing the traffic calming obstacles was detailed by Infrastructure Minister Nolan Cox on Tuesday.
We were informed that there was an incident where a bus ran into one of the workers at the River Road area. After lengthy discussion with the police officer, the police, traffic, and the contractor, it was advised that some temporary speed bumps be installed to slow the traffic down, so to ensure the safety of the workers who are implementing the St. Johns River project. So that is what really spiked the installation of those speed bumps.
Senator Cox appealed to motorists to exercise caution along the area.
We continue to appeal to traffic users to slow down. It's a work site, it's an active work site, and we are trying our best to ensure that we try to minimize inconvenience and interruptions in the traffic while work is ongoing. We know there are other commercial businesses within the area, so it's important for us to have traffic so as not to impede the business in any negative way. But at the same time, we expect persons who use the roadway to slow down.
The infrastructure minister said the current speed bumps are temporary. However, the possibility exists for speed bumps to be permanently erected along the area after the project is completed.
I cannot say that there would not be speed bumps going thereafter. Those speed bumps are normally requested by community members. So if there are any speed bumps that will be installed permanently after the project is completed, it will be because of a request by community members, or if traffic department deem it necessary to do so. But as it stands right now, those speed bumps are temporary.
The St. Johns River flood mitigation project is expected to be completed by next month. For GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
And finally, in the first segment of news, the 33rd intersessional meeting of the Conference of CARICOM Heads of Government started in Belize on Tuesday and is being held face-to-face for the first time since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. Issues ranging from vaccine hesitancy, fallouts from the pandemic, recovery to climate change, and regional integration are scheduled to be discussed during the 2-day conference. Gerard Joseph has this report.
Dr. Carla Barnett, CARICOM Secretary General, addressing her first CARICOM Heads of Government meeting since taking up office, says the region must make the Caribbean single market and economy work for member countries. The Secretary General notes that this is vital in order to build back better from the social and economic damage of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Let us set a target to lift intra-regional trade out of the doldrums of 16 to 18% of our total trade into 25% by 2025. This can be fueled in large measure by the agricultural sector, The proposals put forward to this meeting by the Special Ministerial Task Force on Agriculture are worthy of favorable consideration.
Dr. Barnett impresses that as developed countries recover, the time is ripe for the Caribbean region to act upon proposals for joint marketing of their tourism product.
The Caribbean still remains a preferred destination, and within our member states there is a variety of attractions from the traditional to the niche markets to satisfy a broad spectrum of visitors.
The Regional Digital Development Strategy and the roadmap to a single ICT space, the CARICOM Secretary General says, must now be implemented. John Briceño, Prime Minister of Belize and Chairman of CARICOM, noting the issues of climate change, mitigation and other unprecedented challenges, says these are being exacerbated by the ongoing situation in Europe.
The global unraveling is occurring against the backdrop of what appears to be a new Cold War. As we meet, Russia has invaded Ukraine. This is a flagrant violation of international law. We condemn it in the strongest terms, this unjustified invasion. There must be an immediate cessation of hostilities and immediate and unilateral withdrawal of all Russian troops from Ukraine.
Grenada's Prime Minister, Dr. Kit Mitchell, is expected to brief CARICOM heads on impending reduction in roaming rates during the two-day intersessional meeting. I am Gerald Joseph for GBN News.
This is Primetime Edition of News. Coming up, $18 million reconstruction of Sea Moon Cultural Center expected to start this year. That story and more next.
No frills, just great prices, only at Quartz. We don't just talk about it, we've got it. Shop with confidence and save big. Up to 50% off appliances, furniture, electronics, and so much more. Plus, pay with ready finance and get 1 month free. Only at Quartz, bringing value home. Special conditions apply.
Residences, a modern, exclusive residential community offered by Ariza. Purchase one of our completely built houses or let us build for you by simply choosing your lot, choosing your home design from our selection, and let us do the rest. Owning a home does not have to be a frustrating process. For more information, contact Ariza Credit Union on 415-0994 or send us an email on info@ridgewayresidences.gd. Ridgeway Residences, hassle-free home ownership.
What does it take to be an amazing woman? Lots of me time. Amazing women are classy, fancy, and a little sassy. It's the drink for me. Cheers! Sometimes you've got to show them who's boss. Alpha male? Nah, alpha females are more amazing. Cheers to securing the bag. We make time for ourselves, for work, friends, and we certainly make time for passion. We're simply amazing. Amazing cream liqueur for the amazing woman in you.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils big and assurance we give. It's so clear to see peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family, yes we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
My grandson feel he was a big man before he reached secondary school. Telling me about new gadgets to make life easy. But he busting up the food his granny cook with her 2 hands. And Kern's a good boy. I know. I raised him. I know he doesn't like seeing me work too hard. He worries. Before I had my first heart attack, he was excited to live near his university campus. So I felt guilty when he decided to live at home to take care of me. And getting to class and back, he would travel, he said. But I got him a little car anyway, much safer. He graduated, recently got married, and he's doing well for himself with all his tech. He still thinks he knows more than me, but to be honest, I don't know how I would have managed without him.
Your life is your story. Let's help you write it on your terms.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back to the news. The issue of population deficit in the region needs to be addressed, suggests Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley, as she addressed party supporters during the NNP convention on Sunday. Gerard Joseph has the details.
One of the reasons the Caribbean continues to perform poor economically is because there are not enough people within regional workforces to produce goods and services. Those were the words of Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley as she highlighted that the region does not have the numbers to sustain the quality of life. Prime Minister Mottley used her home country as a prime example.
The reality is that we found out that we simply had not been replacing our fertility rate, and that had we since 1980 been doing what we were supposed to do, our population would be 80 to 100,000 people more today than it is now. Worse than that in 12 to 13 years' time, our labor force will be smaller than it is today.
The Barbadian leader believes the situation is almost the same in every CARICOM member state where there are population density imbalances.
I would like to suggest, Prime Minister Mitchell and others, that I believe the time has come for a regional commission to look at the issue of population within the Caribbean community.
The Barbados Prime Minister reckoned Africa as the continent to follow, with the capacity to fuel growth like no other in the world.
In a way that if it follows the example of us and the European Union with the African Free Trade Area and the common market that they're trying to create within Africa, then they are going to be in a position to be a force to reckon with globally, because the continent's population is 1.4 billion, 1.4 billion people.
She noted CARICOM's decision to ally with the African Union can play a crucial role in removing the middle passage in terms of travel and integration restrictions. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Infrastructural work on the St. George's Vendors Market is almost at the end of the third phase, as measures are put in place to ensure users of the facility stay safe during the ongoing global health pandemic. More in this report from Rena Perry-Thomas.
Over 60 vegetable stands have been constructed as construction work continues at the St. George's Vendors Market Square. According to Minister of Infrastructure Development and Implementation, Nolan Cox, the majority of work on the third phase of the project should be completed in a month or two. The market has been under renovation since last November to enhance its setting and support compliance with the sanitization requirements of the COVID-19 protocol.
We are doing some upgrade works there. We have initially completed the first set of what we call stands. There were 60 stalls completed. We about 95% complete with the washroom upgrade, and we're hoping to complete the washroom in the next 2 weeks. And then we have another 32 stands that are being constructed right now and should be completed within a month's time.
The entire project is estimated at a cost of over $900,000, with an aim to bring a level of comfort to vendors who use the facility to make a living. The minister says his ministry is working steadfastly to have vendors return to the market in a much more organized and comfortable environment.
So we are very hopeful that within a month's time, the major works at the St. George Vendors Market should be completed, and we will see the vendors coming back in. That is another activity that we have to look at as we do, as the booths are somewhat oversubscribed. So that is something that we're working closely with all stakeholders to ensure that we make the best decision in terms of accommodating persons as they come back into the market. We are very, very much looking forward to that.
Minister Cox was speaking on Government's weekly post-cabinet briefing on Tuesday. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
The Sea Moon Cultural Center, which was ravaged by Hurricane Ivan in 2004, is officially on the cards for reconstruction this year, as work is expected to commence soon. Infrastructure Minister Nolan Cox says the contract has been awarded to Kenny's Trucking, and the facility will serve as a multi-purpose center, which will feature commercial spaces for small business development.
A pavilion, a multi-story pavilion which will be constructed, and then you have a stage area that will be constructed separately. There's going to be a museum that will also house all our cultural and sporting heroes, past and current. So that is going to be laced with pictures and information on them. There is going to be an area for training, dancing, theater, things like that. There is also a part of the design that was included was a 25-meter swimming pool. However, that is not included in this scope of works. But for future going forward, that was built in the initial concept, that to have an area for the big parish for swimming.
Minister Cox says the project is estimated to cost 18 million EC dollars, which was announced in the 2022 budget.
The Ministry of Culture, of course, and Sports would be the one who will be working with the community. There are a number of community groups who have a strong sense of knowledge in terms of the history, persons who we believe that are significant to highlight, who clearly represents Grenada's history from a both sporting and cultural aspect, and they are the ones who the Ministry, of course, would lead the charge in having that museum established. I think it's a wonderful idea, and when we saw the concepts, I think it was beautiful that we incorporate that there.
And now let's turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Rena Pett Thomas has been looking around the platforms.
We present the news. You analyze the various topics and distill the issues as they unfold. Your distillation points matter, as we're about to highlight them in our Social Buzz Report.
A fiery situation in the south of the island over the weekend ended with one yachty losing some of his most cherished belongings as fire destroyed his boat. But he is of the belief that the situation may not have ended so tragically if emergency responders were better equipped. GBN brought the story, and you, our online audience, took to the comment section to air your views. Glenroy St. Louis said the head of the Coast Guard is responsible for ensuring that all those under his command are fully equipped. No Coast Guard vessel should be dispatched lacking supplies and equipment, etc. This major loss should be avoided, and the owner deserves an apology. Thank God there were no loss of life. Carrigan Thomas wrote, "Can't blame the Grenadian Coast Guard. If this man can afford to live on a yacht on the ocean, he should be able to finance his own fire extinguishing equipment. Water all around him, all he needed was a pump, or build his house on land where the fire department can reach him." Sheldon Aberdeen said the Coast Guard is the equivalent of a sea ambulance. They should be prepared for any emergency scenario. Sadly, our Coast Guard's prime responsibility is to harass fishermen and run down drug traffickers. Alison Cox commented, "Why is this man talking on TV and blaming our Coast Guard for his lack of responsibility for his boat? The boat should be in good condition with all fire protection. I am sure the Coast Guard did their best." Kellen Maitland wrote, "No difference whether it be land or sea, ambulance late or no driver on site, fire truck showing up with little to no water, no Coast Guard. Hey, at least they showed up and no one was hurt." And finally, Oscar said, "Generally, Coast Guards are for basic protection, search and rescue. The bulky machinery needed for firefighting will have a difficult time fitting into a relatively small, cramped and very fast boat. There are firefighting boats that are specifically designed to fight marine fires. A far cry from the boat we have." That's a wrap for tonight's Buzz. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platforms.
And still ahead, school supplies presented to 2 institutions that cater to vulnerable children. We tell you more next.
Have you heard about the new Softweave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Softweave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue, available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Softweave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
The next chapter in West Indies' biggest rivalry continues. West Indies vies against England for the Apex Test Series in 3 test matches. Tickets start as low as $20 and local residents enjoy an additional 50% discount with online purchase. Must be fully vaccinated to attend all matches and COVID-19 protocols will be in effect. Secure your seats to the action. Get your tickets in advance at windiescricket.com/tickets. Terms and conditions apply.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
The next chapter in West Indies' biggest rivalry continues. West Indies vies against England for the Apex Test Series in 3 test matches. Tickets start as low as $20 and local residents enjoy an additional 50% discount with online purchase. Must be fully vaccinated to attend all matches and COVID-19 protocols will be in effect. Secure your seats to the action. Get your tickets in advance at windiescricket.com/tickets. Terms and conditions apply.
This is GBN. We've got the means, the power, and the medium. This segment is brought to you by Flow.
Welcome back. Some much appreciated school supplies were presented to 2 institutions in the south of the island on Tuesday by a couple of organizations that came together to make it happen. Chrislina John was at the presentation.
A group of Grenadian doctors in Virginia, USA, who called themselves Grenadians United Against COVID, teamed up with the Rotary Club of Grenada to give back to vulnerable groups in Grenada. Two organizations benefited from this gesture on Tuesday, the School for Special Education and the Bel Air Children's Home in Calais, St. George. Alphonsus Daniel is the president of the Rotary Club of Grenada.
Let me say what we're trying to do here this morning sits well with into the 7 areas of focus of Rotary, one of them being education, and the other one is supporting mothers and so on. Today we want to, as usual, leave with you a small token, 13 bags with notebooks, pencils, and so on. We partnered with the a group of Grenadian doctors that they call themselves Grenadians United Against COVID in Virginia, USA. They made the donation, and this morning we want to give you a portion.
Manager at the Bel Air home, Ms. Lisa Charles, expressed her gratitude.
It always feels overwhelming when you think of, everybody is affected by COVID and all that is going on, but people still find it in their heart to take the time out to really still donate, still think of the less fortunate, and as I say, the vulnerable groups. And we really, really, really appreciate it. And it was really, these are things we have school-age children, as you say, 13 of them. So this will really help them to make their learning experience a little more, fruitful.
The club's president says they will continue distribution to the other parishes, including Carriacou and Petite Martinique, in coming days. Director of Service Project for Rotary, Nala Hadid, speaks of an upcoming event this weekend.
It's awareness of obesity and also diabetes. On Sunday start at 2 p.m. there will be a hash, there will be a walk. So for people who don't like to run, there will be very simple walk, and it also lead back to the park. There will be slight exercises, there will be music, there will be barbecue and popcorn, healthy stuff to eat as well. Come and enjoy your day on Sunday the 6th at Quarantine Point at 2 p.m.
Christelina John, GBN News.
And now it's time for us to take a peek through the GBN eyesore lens. Let's see what was captured.
A good eye captures all. GBN eyesore is brought to you by Clear Vision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. Clear Vision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Clear Vision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
Featured in tonight's GBN eyesore is video footage of students and teachers of a preschool in Sauteurs partaking in their own mini juve through the streets of Sauteurs. While the young ones are a little early for Spice Mass 2022, the Juve Parade is in line with Kayak Mass, which came to a close over on the Sister Isle today. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Stay with us. The weather is next, and then we join Zia Frederick for sports and our probe around the globe.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business.
For your education.
For your financial freedom.
For that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
The Nawasa app brings the power of Nawasa's customer service experience to you. Instant, conversational, and smart. Easy access anywhere. Get bill balance, transaction history for up to 6 months, report a fault, link to websites, view payment centers, contact information, push notifications, and multi-tenant accounts, all in a secure login platform. Like a self-service concierge app, mobile.nawasa.gd gets you the support you need much faster. Available on both Android and iOS platforms. Mobile.nawasa.gd, your customer support companion. Nawasa, committed to meeting customers' needs.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform? Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
Let's start the new year on a high, a detox high, because it's detox time again at Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Check out our many detox packages starting from $100 or get 15% off on colonic irrigation therapy. Detoxing can help with liver and blood cleansing, weight loss, constipation, acid reflux, kidney stones, heavy metal removal, gas and bloating, and more. Call or WhatsApp us on 231-6642, 418-7115, or 449-7753. Ask about our delivery options. Visit us now. Bruce Street Mall, store number 1208, or Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area. Our opening hours are Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health. These specials ends on March 31st or while stocks last.
Three matches were played this weekend in the resumption of the GFA Premier League, despite several challenges of consistent rain and waterlogged pitches, following months of no competition. The results to those matches detailed in this report.
FC Camohan's Ryan Griffith scored the first goal in the resumption playing in the 5 p.m. match against Shantimel FC at Fund. Then, Kwesi Theodore, a prolific striker with Camohan FC since its inception, posted a swift hat-trick with goals in the 53rd, 55th and 57th minutes of play. The lone response for Shantimel FC in the 1-4 encounter came from Hansi Martin in the 75th minute. In the second match at Fund, it was a tight finish between Hard Rock FC and Hurricanes SC, the match ending 2-3 in favor of Hurricanes. Veteran Hurricanes midfielder Moran Phillip added 2 goals to his tally in the competition in the 37th and 53rd minutes, while Real Alexander scored in extra time in the first half. The Hard Rock response came in the second half with Devonnie Smith finding the net in the 46th minute, while Thayer Dossett converted in the 80th minute. A late goal attempt by Hard Rock within the 18-yard box in the closing minutes of the match was thwarted by Hurricanes defenders. In the third match, Queen's Park Rangers FC beat Eagles Super Strikers 4-2 at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Raquel Charles, a regular starter and striker for Queen's Park, found the net early in the 6th minute, followed by Kobe Thomas in the 65th minute, while Joshua Pascal converted in the 73rd minute and Jaden Thomas got one in at extra time. Eagles' Lyndon Henry's 83rd minute goal and Shaquan Toussaint's late extra time goal were not enough to stop the Rangers.
Due to poor field conditions caused by inclement weather over the weekend, 2 Premier League matches were postponed until Wednesday. Sab Spartans will show down against Mountridge at 7:15 p.m. at Victoria Park, while simultaneously St. John Sports will go up against Paradise at Cuthbert Peters Park in Guelph. A lot has changed since Courtney Walsh and the other coaching staff came into the picture. That's according to West Indies women captain Stephanie Taylor. She highlighted some of the differences the coaches have made.
Well, I think for me, the batting coach had changed my batting stance a bit, and I think that has helped with my balance and how straight I should play. I think a lot of the girls have really been enjoying that as well. But even some of the knowledge that they have imparted, where you think that you should have probably learned when you're probably a bit younger coming up in the cricket, and yeah, I find it's been really good.
Taylor says the sessions helped her focus more on her batting.
Yeah, I think one of the things that actually brought to my attention is that I haven't scored a century being captain, and I guess that's because I'm not really a stats person, but it was an eye-opener to probably dig deeper and focus a bit more on my batting. And I think for me, yeah, that's what I've been doing, and yeah, hopefully I could score more centuries for West Indies.
The ICC Women's Cricket ODI World Cup 2022 begins on Friday in New Zealand. The World Cup will see a total of 8 teams battle it out over the duration of 29 days. That's a look at sports. Regional and international news is next. And now for regional news. The news of the deaths of 4 divers in Trinidad became a reality Monday night, when the bodies of 3 of the deceased were recovered.
The bodies of 3 of the 4 divers who were sucked into a 36-inch underwater crude oil pipeline off Pointe-a-Pierre last Friday have been removed to the Forensics Sciences Center. TTT News understands the bodies were taken to forensics this morning and are pending identification and an autopsy to determine the cause of death. The announcement of the recovery made by Paria Fuel Trading Company in a statement on Monday evening. Christopher Boudram, Faisal Kurban, Rishi Nagasa, Kazim Ali Jr. and Yusuf Henry were doing maintenance work on the pipeline when the tragedy occurred last week. Boudram was rescued that same day by diver Ronald Ramuta, a relative to Kurban. He is in stable condition at the San Fernando General Hospital. Attempts to retrieve the 4th body are still ongoing. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has expressed condolences to the loved ones of the 4 divers who lost their lives while on technical duty at Paria facilities in the Gulf of Paria. Dr. Rowley gave the assurance to the families that nothing will stand in the way of determining how the tragedy occurred. He committed that everything will be professionally executed by Paria and its associates in this matter, starting with the already announced independent investigation involving the best professional and technical expertise available to the country. The Prime Minister called upon citizens to be caring and comforting during this time.
A policeman in Guyana is facing the possibility of being charged following a high-speed chase that resulted in the death of 2 young people. We get more in this report.
The
policeman who was behind the steering wheel of that police vehicle, which was involved in a high-speed chase that ended in a fatal accident that claimed the lives of 2 youths, will face charges of causing death by dangerous driving. The Director of Public Prosecutions has advised that Police Officer Lawrence Carmichael face the charges for the 2nd of February accident, which left Christopher Bangwendat and Sharita Prasad dead. The DPP has also asked for further investigations to be conducted in the matter and for the file to be returned for additional advice by the 7th of March. It is possible that the DPP is seeking to institute additional charges in the matter. The accident occurred in the vicinity of the Mahaika Bridge. During its initial report on the accident, the police claimed that the car, which was being driven by 21-year-old mechanic Christopher Bangwendat, had avoided a police roadblock and was pursued by a police patrol vehicle. During the chase, which was captured on surveillance video in the area, the 2 vehicles could be seen driving at a fast rate. As the car approached the Mahaika Bridge, eyewitnesses said the police vehicle increased its speed and might have jammed the back of the car, sending it into the path of a truck in the opposite lane. The police vehicle also slammed into the same truck. The 21-year-old mechanic and his 16-year-old girlfriend both died on the spot. There were other persons in at least one other vehicle who were hospitalized with serious injuries as a result of the multi-vehicular smash-up. Following the accident, family members of the 2 youths cried out for justice, saying that they are convinced that the police caused the accident and should face charges and be held accountable. The Guyana Police Force launched a full investigation and the findings were submitted to the DPP for advice. The Director of Public Prosecutions has indicated that the charge of causing death by dangerous driving is an indictable charge.
Internationally, Ukrainian President Zelensky said there were eyewitness accounts of civilians being deliberately targeted during Monday's attack on the country's second largest city. Rights groups also said war crimes may have occurred during Russia's invasion, and the International Criminal Court is looking to launch its own investigation into the allegations. We get more in this report.
Under siege, Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city, where it looks like Russia is using cluster bombs, according to military experts.
This is a residential area with no military objects.
Kharkiv's mayor says shells hit residential buildings, killing innocent civilians, and says 3 children were burned alive in a car. As President Zelensky put it,
this is clearly a war crime. Peaceful city, peaceful residential area, no military facilities.
He wants the world to close the skies to Russian missiles, planes, and helicopters. Meanwhile, on the road to the capital, a Russian military convoy estimated to be far longer than first thought, heading towards a city shaken by this strike on a radar center, as locals dig trenches in their backyard to protect their neighborhood. At least 70 Ukrainian soldiers were killed in a Russian missile strike on this military base west of Kharkiv on Sunday, according to the authorities. But as families get separated by this war, the right to live together in peace is now shattered for many Ukrainians. Men of fighting age forbidden from fleeing in what's looking like an increasingly precarious stage in this sudden, shocking conflict. Mark Lobel, BBC News.
That's a look at regional and international developments. I'm Zia Frederick. Blossom is up next with a recap of the headlines.
And let's look back at what made news tonight. Police called in as GIDC workers protest what they call an insult to their request for salary increases. Ministry of Education says they are ready to evacuate Grenadian students in Russia and Romania if necessary. Speed bumps erected in River Road to stem speed in traffic could become permanent. In regional news, families in Trinidad heartbroken as bodies of 3 divers recovered after a weekend stuck in oil pipes. Internationally, Ukrainian president accuses Russia of war crimes as the invasion rolls into day 6. And in sports, GFA Premier League resumes with wins for Queen's Park Rangers, Hurricanes SC and Camahan FC. That's the end of the GBN Nightly News for Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at www.gbn.gd or on GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. On behalf of the entire GBN News team, I am Blossom Alexis-Welsh. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.
Your life is yours, your future's in your hands, your body is yours.